Tonight we'd like to remember those who were killed in action, starting with Sergeant Jose Ibarra from the Air Force from Long Branch. Most of these men are from right here along the shore area. I'm sure there are many more in Monmouth County, but we selected those because these are neighborhoods that are near and dear to us and originally part of Ocean Township. I'd also like to remember Corporal Colin Bach, Marine Corps from Neptune. Specialist Paul Bacon, Army, Neptune. Corporal John Allen Baker, Marine Corps, Elbron. PFC Robert Balmer, Marine Corps, Oceanport. Lance Corporal Glenn Bates, Marine Corps, Hazlitt. Private David Beatty, Marine Corps, Neptune. Staff Sergeant Gerald Binger, Army, Neptune City. Corporal Thomas Blevins, Marine Corps, Middletown. Private Donald Brower, Marine Corps, Neptune. Lance Corporal Walter Chishon, Army, Farmingdale. Staff Sergeant George Clayton, Army, Belmar. Lance Corporal Theo Collins, Marine Corps, Asbury Park. Corporal Gerald Connor, Marine Corps, Colts Neck. Specialist Albert Diamo, Army, Wanamassa. Second Lieutenant John Doherty, Marine Corps, Red Bank. Lance Corporal Philip Dorn, Marine Corps, Shrewsbury. Specialist William Eberhardt, Army, Belmar. Private Barry Everett, Army, Eatontown. Lance Corporal Thomas Firth, Marine Corps, Little Silver. Specialist Carl Foster, Army, Belmar. Corporal Paul Gannon, Army, Asbury Park. Private Malcolm Grimm, Army, Long Branch. Chief Warrant Officer John Grizzard, Army, Long Branch. Private Donald Halverson, Marine Corps, Eatontown. Lance Corporal Lanty Harris, Marine Corps, Shrewsbury. Private Dale Jacobs, Marine Corps, Long Branch. Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Kearns, Air Force, Seagirt. Captain Gregory Kernahan, Army, Avon. Warrant Officer Robert Douglas King, Army. Specialist Robert Kugelman, Army, Manasquan. Sergeant James Lang, Army, Neptune. Petty Officer Harold Lanning, Navy, Wanamassa. Major Charles Lawless, Army, Oakhurst. Specialist James Lytle, Army, Wanamassa. Staff Sergeant Roland Manuel, Army, Asbury Park. PFC John Francis Mayer, Jr., Army, West Long Branch. Lance Corporal Patrick McBride, Marine Corps, Neptune. Private Clifford McKinnon, Army, Point Pleasant. First Lieutenant Stuart Melnick, Army, Bradley Beach. Corporal Jerry Morgan, Army, Long Branch. Specialist Donald Moritzen, Army, Middletown. Specialist Floyd Moy, Army, Asbury Park. Specialist Richard Nichols, Army, Point Pleasant. Sergeant John Pape, Army, Navesink. Corporal Louis Perry, Marine Corps, Asbury Park. Gunnery Sergeant Albert Raitt, Marine Corps, Neptune City. Captain John Riley, Jr., Air Force, Spring Lake. Specialist Robert Reynolds, Army, Neptune. Captain Robert Rocky, Air Force, Lincroft. Specialist Arthur Ross, Army, Asbury Park. Chief Warrant Officer Dominic Scatorcio, Army, Spring Lake. First Lieutenant Army Schnabolt, Army, Seabright. Corporal William Schultz, Marine Corps, Red Bank. Lance Corporal Richard Stewart, Marine Corps, Manasquan. Colonel Edward Vogel, Army, Interlaken. Corporal Albert Washington, Army, Asbury Park. And Private Ronald White, Army, Eatontown. Thank you for your service. Rest in peace.
Thank you. There's 59 men that were on that list. Joe, let's come up and we're going to do the POW MIA ceremony.
Those who have served and those currently serving the uniformed services of the United States are ever mindful that the sweetness of enduring peace has always been tainted by the bitterness of personal sacrifice. We are compelled to never forget that while we enjoy our daily pleasures, there are others who have endured and still may be enduring the agonies of pain, deprivation, and internment. Currently, sources indicate that there are 1,642 Vietnam veterans still unaccounted for. We cannot give up. We call your attention to this small table, which occupies a place of dignity and honor. It is set for one, symbolizing the fact that members of our armed forces are missing from our ranks. It also symbolizes the frailty of one prisoner alone against his or her suppressors. They are referred to as POWs and MIAs. We call them comrades. They are unable to be with their loved ones and families tonight, so we join together to pay our humble tribute to them and bear witness to their continued absence. This table, set for one, is small. The tablecloth is white, symbolic of the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call to arms. The single red rose in the vase signifies the blood they may have shed and sacrificed to ensure the freedom of our beloved United States of America. This rose also reminds us of the family and friends of our missing comrades who kept the faith while awaiting their return. The yellow ribbon on the vase represents the yellow ribbons worn on the lapels of the thousands who demand with unyielding determination a proper accounting of our comrades who are not among us tonight. The slice of lemon on the plate reminds us of their bitter fate. The salt sprinkled on the plate reminds us of the countless fallen tears of families as they wait. The glass is inverted. They cannot toast with us this night. The empty tilted chair depicts an unknown fate, representing no specific soldier, sailor, airman, marine, or Coast Guardsman. The chair is empty. They are not here. The candle is reminiscent of the light of hope, which lives in our hearts to illuminate their way home, away from their captors, to the open arms of a grateful nation. The Bible represents the strength gained through faith to sustain those lost from our country, which was founded as one nation under God. Let us pray to the Supreme Commander that all of our comrades will soon be back within our ranks. Let us remember and never forget their sacrifices. May God forever watch over them and protect them and their families.